God said, let there be light. In him was life, and the life was the light. So nothing could be created before he said, let there be light. But the problem was, the light was on the outside. God's breath is on the inside, but he wanted the light on the inside. Come on. 2 Corinthians 4:6 says, God who commanded the light to shine, have now shone in our hearts. So in Adam's heart it was not. But there was a tree of life. There was a tree of life, even though everything was lit up. They had to partake of the tree of life so it can enter them. They didn't. So what happened? They messed up totally. Now, to have a body is the only way that you can have a right to be on the earth. But Satan didn't have a body. Who is he? Where did he come from? We don't know much about it. But the Bible says Jesus Christ, who is, was, and is to come. Now, if you take the patterns in the Bible, you'll understand that that is realms also and certain times. So in my life, there was a is, was, and is to come. In our history, there was a is, was, and is to come. So in realms, there must have been a was, is to come. Now he came from an age that we know nothing about. So before this present age of ours that we are in, so what is the purpose of this age? He says, for this purpose the Son of God was manifested to destroy the works of the evil one. So this age that we are in was created to get the rebellion out that was caused in the previous age, and we're not going to go on to the next one until death is underneath our feet. That's what the Bible says. So was, is to come. So what he did is he got himself a body in the form of a snake. Now from the start it is clear that this fallen being from the previous age is now challenging God's authority on earth. But the thing lacked a body. Come on. He came slithering in the garden. Did God say? Who gave him the right? But that is why Adam was created, to rule and have dominion. And he missed it. He missed it. So God is not going to change his plan. What he did is he stepped in and he took over. Okay, this is what the battle of the ages is all about. Satan had to use the body of a snake to do his dirty work of deception, which originates from rebellion. Now, as usual, one thing leads to another, and everybody wants to blame the other. Come on. When God said, Adam, why did you do it? It's the wife. Wife, why? It's the snake. But what happened is, come on guys, they fell. And I got up this morning and God said to me, do you realize they covered themselves with fig leaves? And when Jesus came, he cursed the fig tree. So that was the tree. I don't think it's an apple, I think it's a fig tree. Just thinking. I am allowed to think, you know. Okay. Enmity was set between Satan's seed and the woman's seed. Please. Does a woman have seed? No. God has just made her. He took her from the rib. And he knows that she hasn't got seed. So when he said there will be enmity between your seed and the seed of serpent, he's actually saying, I'm going to take on the fight myself. Because he overshadowed Mary. Genesis 1:14, he says, and the trees were made, and the seed were inside. Everyone had seed inside, so that they will produce after their kind. So what happened when Adam and Eve ate of the tree of knowledge of good and evil? It's very interesting to go through the Bible and look at figs, because he says the heavenly elements will fall like figs, like a fig tree will cast her figs. It's all symbolic language that we have to understand. We can't separate Genesis and Revelation. The end is determined from the beginning. So God's command didn't change it has never changed. The command is still today. Rule and have dominion. You are kings and priests to rule and reign where? On this earth. But now, money rules us, and our children rules us, and the dogs rule us. I will say nothing about this dog here. Let's just go on. God, His command never changed. So when Cain came, what was the command for Cain? Rule and have dominion. Remember, when he came to Abel to kill him, he said, Satan is lurking at your door. He's looking at you. He didn't. So what happened? His seed line was damaged. Then the Bible says, listen to this in Genesis 4:25. Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son, and called him Seth. For God hath appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew. So there was the seed line of the sons of God. So when he says the sons of God had intercourse with the woman of the sons of man, it was those two seed lines. It wasn't the angels. Angels do not have intercourse. They are not male or female. They are not our bodies. So when Cain's seed line and Seth's seed line mixed, that's where we got the giants. Now please, can you look at me? A giant. A giant. That was Satan's plan from the beginning. Come on, David. What did he slew? The giants. There were lots of giants. And they were going out. But Satan had this giant thing in his head. So he wanted what we call the image of the beast. He wanted a body on earth that he can work through. And this was the battle for the seed lines through the ages. The whole timeline story is a battle for the seed. From the beginning, we get day 1, which was a new day in the flood. Day 2 was the calling of Abraham. Day 3 was David sitting on the throne. And day 4 was the fullness of time when Christ came. This, from here up till there, was a battle for the seed line. Because there had to be a seed on the earth. So after the flood, everything was destroyed, and this was called the first world. The first world was totally taken out because these two seed lines mixed, Cain's seed line and Seth's seed line, and they produced giants. And these, the DNA went through the flood back to the earth. So after the flood, you still got giants everywhere, but it was not as bad as this. Then, right here, about in the middle of this, we get the Tower of Babel. What was that? Serpent seed, because here we have enmity between the woman and the seed of the serpent. So he went and he immediately said, let's make a city that will reach God. The spirit of Babylon. Pride, arrogance. We will reach heaven. God came down, he said, shut up. And what happened? They were dispersed and they had little kingdoms everywhere. They went and they dispersed. Come on, have you ever read the Bible? It's this little kingdom, and Jericho was a city, but it was a kingdom. Every city was a kingdom with a king. So what he tried to do there, he wanted a city with a king. I wanted to be the king on earth. Now, amazingly, when they were taken to Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar was called King of Kings with a small letter. So he was actually in that line. But then God called Abram out of his city, out of his people, and he said, I will make your seed and your seed in their generations. Come on. So the next one, we have Moses on the mountain, and Satan got it that the people messed up the commands of God. Then God gave him a system, and what Satan did, he infiltrated the system. So what went on from here right to the cross was the battle of the seed. The purpose purpose of the seed is the body. The purpose of the body is the cross. The purpose of the cross is the Spirit. Why? Because God said, right in front of the flood, my Spirit will not forever strive on the outside of man. So the second world was started to get the Spirit of God on our inside. And this is why the cross was there. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
That is actually, in short, the battle of the seeds.